Michigan. Let me turn now to Chuck and Carol. Let's talk about everything that happened last night and what we can expect tonight. Chuck, I'm going to start with you. I want to play a little bit more of what we heard from President Biden. And what was so notable is that it's actually something that you said prior to his speech. Let's take a listen to what he said.
I've made a lot of mistakes in my career, but I gave my best to you. For 50 years, like many of you, I've given my heart and soul to our nation. And I've been blessed a million times in return with the support of the American people. I've either been too young to be in the Senate because I wasn't 30 yet, and too old to stay as president. But I hope you know how grateful I am to all of you.
Chuck, we literally had this discussion yesterday. That's the real heartache, I think, for President Biden.
You know, he never got the presidency in his prime.
Yeah.
Right? And it just, but he got the presidency, and he worked his whole life. I've spent my entire adult life tracking whether Joe Biden was going to run and how is he going to do it. And he always wanted to run. And every off the record I had with him, it was always about, well, what do you think's happening in Iowa? Who's got this ground game? And you know,
he loved the game.
He did. And then by the time he gets the presidency, it's sort of like, he doesn't have the fastball anymore. Now he had some crafty screwballs and this or that, and he could, you know, get through it. And he got the Holy Grail. But I do think last night, you know, I think tonight's the start of the convention, the Kamala Harris convention. Last night was the sort of the tribute night. This was the. And if you think about it, putting Hillary Clinton on that night too also felt like a decision of let's put the past on display on Monday night.
Yeah.
And then let's start making the case for Kamala starting on Tuesday. In terms of the Obamas, we'll make a personal pitch, I think, a little bit. You have Bill Clinton, who's going to make the Secretary of Explaining Democratic Economic Policies.
Yeah,
He's still the through line on that. And then, obviously, herself on Thursday night. And so I do think that that's the real, I think that's why they just let last night go so long. They're like, look, that's last night. That's the end of that era. Tonight's the beginning of a new era in the Democratic Party. Hence, James Taylor was supposed to be playing last night. It's common tonight.
Right.
I mean,
tells you everything you need to know. Yeah, it's a great point, Chuck. Carol, let me read you something that our friend and colleague Peter Baker wrote in the New York Times. He wrote, President Biden, has been such a part of the American political firmament for so long that it seemed hard to imagine him ceding the spotlight. And in fact, he made little accommodation to do that unhappy reality, largely giving what seemed like the speech that could have been written before his withdrawal from the race on July 21st, extolling his record and excoriating Mr. Trump's. What do you make of that and just how hard it was for Biden?
Well, it was a very long speech, and if you look at it, it started with some of the future and Harris and endorsing her, and then it was about Joe Biden, and it was everything. It was almost as if he wanted to say, yes, I'm old and I've been pushed aside here, but look at every single thing I've done. And he really went through it all. And at the same time, he also rather graciously kind of interwove Harris's role in a lot of things. And that's what's so striking about this, is because we all know, we've covered this presidency. This is not something that people would describe as a close friendship or warmth. And yet only in the last 6 weeks or 2 months since the debate has it really they're presenting as if they're very close, and she's had a very close role in a lot of stuff. And he gave her that, and that was something that was striking too.
It's such a great point, Carol, because the optics here are so important. And tonight, you talk about Bill Clinton be the explainer-in-chief. Former President Obama, it sounds like, is going to try to take that mantle a little bit as well, that he's going to be the explainer-in-chief and start to lay out the Kamala Harris biography. Here's who she is.
You know, I've thought about this with Obama. You know, if there's one criticism that I think is fair of Obama politically, is he did not set up an heir apparent. You know, Donald Trump actually set up an heir apparent with J.D. Vance, right? Barack Obama never did. The choice of Joe Biden, you know, and there were some people who whispered maybe you ought to get a new running mate for 12 more out of passing the torch, being able to put your stamp on where you want the party to go. And he backed off. And out of loyalty to the Clintons, because the Clintons were so good to him, and when he needed them in 2012, people forget this.
Yeah.
He needed Bill Clinton more than the Clintons ever needed Obama back in the day, in that one election. And it was really important. And I think he felt a sense of loyalty, and he got behind her. In an odd way now, whether he ever meant to or not, Kamala Harris feels like the natural heir to the Obama era. Like Biden was this sort of holdover from another part of the party, and now, but Kamala feels more like the natural evolution of where the party's going, right? She's probably slightly more to the left than Obama, but not much.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, so yes, she's going to break some barriers, but in a slightly different way. So I'm curious to see if he wraps himself in this and says, hey, this is who's got next.
Well, what's so interesting about that is that it's not just him, it's her, too. Yeah. And she, even in that brief clip that
she never would have been here if this were a Biden convention.
Not like this. And in that phone call, the video call that they did with the vice president, you know, she says in there, she calls her my girl. She says, you know, I'm really excited about this because you've always stood for inclusion and you unify people. And so that, and Michelle Obama is extraordinarily popular among Democrats.
Even more than her husband.
And, yes, and they have a kind of friendly competition going on.
So to be very, that is, and it's going to come across as cliche, and I don't mean to, but she's got an Oprah-like influence. In fact, Oprah doesn't have the influence anymore. Michelle Obama has this influence. I see it in my own family. The women in my own family of multiple generations, Michelle Obama's on a pedestal.
Well, even if you look at their book sales, she sold so many more books, which is the
more importantly, I believe the reading. Like, doesn't Amazon keep track of who actually reads these books? And I think more people finished the Michelle book.
How many times have you both heard over the course of the past 6 months, Michelle Obama should get into the race? Right. I mean, people want, she would never do it.
How many times Mrs. Todd has quoted Michelle Obama's book to me on various things? Not Barack Obama's book.
Very quickly, guys, one of the most fascinating moments came when Hillary Clinton was speaking. I don't think we have time to play it, but you heard the chants of lock him up, talking about Donald Trump. Chuck, it was so striking because obviously in 2016 at Donald Trump's convention, they were chanting lock her up. This does seem to be a pivot from the Michelle Obama, when they go low, we go high.
I've been thinking about this there's been this odd role reversal, 25 years ago, the Republican Party were the disciplined party, and they knew how to use a convention to tear apart a candidate. Just ask Michael Dukakis. Oddly, right, Donald Trump didn't spend any time at his convention. They thought they'd beaten up Biden enough. In fact, they were afraid of beating him up more because they didn't want
him to get out of the race.
And they didn't want him to get out of the race. It's the Democrats that are like, okay, we're now going to play hardball. And they're not usually the party because they have this, no, we want to be better. We want to go, and we in the press will sometimes hold them to a higher standard because they ask us to be held. They ask to be held to a higher standard. But it's striking to me how comfortable these folks are. Like, you know what? We're gonna fight fire here, and they're like, we'll apologize later.
With a smile. That's a little bit of the difference. They're also trying to do it in sort of
a joyful way.
Joyful little night thing,
joyful night.
Because it wasn't just Clinton. It was Jamie Raskin. I mean, we heard this thread, Carol, in a number of other speeches.
There's a feeling in the party that they've learned a lesson, that you can't fight when Trump and Trump allies are coming at you, you have to come at them and play their game a little bit. The danger is that we've seen others who go up against Trump and try to play his game and fail.
Now, I will say this. She can't. I think
that's
right. Like the lesson from Hillary Clinton it was don't get dragged into his mud fights. Biden didn't. Biden stayed above the fray in 20. It was very successful. She can have others do the dirty work. She needs to stay above the fray because that actually sullies the current image she's building of herself right now.
It's a fantastic point. Well, we could have this conversation all hour. Thank you. It was great. Appreciate it. We'll do it again tomorrow. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.